I'm Corey Hutchinson. I'm a junior sociology major, and I am on Tinder.
Yes. Okay, so gotta ask, what's your worst Tinder story? Maybe because it was terrifying, maybe because it was just really creepy. What is the first story that comes to your mind?
Probably the time when I went out to sushi with a medical student. He was like a first year, like actually practicing in a hospital, and I often forget that I'm deathly allergic to avocado, and so, you know, sushi, avocado, totally blanked on it, ate it, started having my throat closing because that's what happens when you're allergic to avocado, and we were both panicking because we didn't know what to do. Like, I don't have an EpiPen because they're $600, and he's like, he might be a medical student, but he doesn't really know what he's doing. So he was like, I'll be right back, hold on. I was like, okay, so kind of like choking, turning purple, it's fine. He comes back with a knife and a straw, and he's like, okay, I'm gonna trach you. And I was like, I'm sorry, what? And he goes, I'm gonna trach you. And I had to like think about that for a second, and I thought about that scene in The Heat where that guy is choking at a diner and Melissa McCarthy shoves like a Bic pen in his throat. And I just like saw myself dying in a sushi restaurant in Marina Del Rey, which was not how I wanted to go. So I sprinted out of the sushi restaurant to Marina Del Rey Hospital. And it was nice because he checked up on me and he was like, oh, do you want me to come to the hospital? And I was like, no, please don't. Get that knife away from me. Safe to say we never went out ever again.
At the beginning of last semester, there was this guy that I matched with in my neighborhood in West Hollywood, also named Alex. And I was super busy last semester, so I asked him if he'd come meet me here for lunch one day when I had a break between classes. And he drove all the way out here in rush hour traffic. We had lunch. It was a nice day that we spent together, and then over the next few days he was like way into me and telling me like all these things, like, oh, I want to take you out all these places. And then he went away for the weekend, and when he came back he totally just like ditched our date that we had planned on the day that he was supposed to come back. So I texted him and was like, hey, where are you? Are we still meeting? Because like I kind of lied and I said I had possibly other plans with some friends, and he was like, oh yeah, I got the flu, so I'm not going to be able to make it today, but sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. Have you talked since then?
Yeah, he'll like text me off and on every once in a while just to like see what's up with me, but then he always falls back off the face of the planet again.
So one time I was talking to this guy on Tinder. This was probably my freshman year, later my freshman year, and we were having a really great conversation. We were like texting really long messages, kind of having that like super deep conversation, as deep as you can have over text.
Of course.
So we were talking for a couple weeks, and then my one message I sent was the last time I ever heard from him, and it was like a really long story. I think it was about like when I found the presents that my parents hid and I learned how Santa wasn't real, which is so random, but I texted him that story and then he never responded, and I was like, oh, that sucks, whatever. So I move on with my life, as you do, and then about a year later, I want to say, he texted me saying, hey, how are you, or something. And I was just like, is that like he texted the wrong person? Is he just whatever? So I ignored it, never responded. Then probably like 6 months to another year later, he texted me, hey, what's up? How are you? How have you been? And I was just like, okay, I'm gonna respond. I would normally just like ignore it, whatever. So I responded to him, I'm like, so you know you ghosted me 2 years ago, right? And he was like, oh yeah, I was having like a really tough time in that part of my life, so like, sorry about that. But I just remember how gorgeous you were, and I really want to like get back together at some point, or not even back together. We never even met. Okay, that's the thing about this, we never even met. But anyway, so he asked me, do you want to get a drink this weekend? And I was like, okay, I guess I'll like humor this guy, whatever. So I say yes, and then that weekend comes and goes. Don't hear from him at all. And I wasn't planning on reaching out. I was done. I was over it. I just wanted to hang out with my friends. To be honest, it was kind of a relief that he didn't respond back. But at the same time, like, dude, you ghosted me twice in 2 years in a row. Like, nah. So that's my worst Tinder story.
Okay, is it safe to say you have not talked to this person since?
No, I have not. So if you're out there watching, then I'm sorry it didn't work out, but you're kind of a jerk.
Hi, I'm Shanu. I'm a freshman mechanical engineer, and I have a weird Tinder story to tell.
Awesome. Go for it. We'd love to hear it.
So I think it all started on some weekend night where me and like a couple other friends were chilling in the common room, and this girl, like, she was on Tinder just like clicking through, and then I said, hey, can I just click through your Tinder? And then I did, and then I just started clicking through like a bunch of guys, and like one of them like super liked me or something, and then like I like messaged him, and he's like, and the girl's telling me like, oh, that's super weird, like don't message anybody who super likes you, like they're really creepy. And I'm like, no, I'm gonna talk to this guy. And I talked to him for like a solid hour, just like casually, just like, I don't want to say leading him on, but I was definitely leading him on, because I had like a bunch of other girls around me, so they're like telling me what to say, because like, you know, they're really good at leading on or whatever. So like I just like kept gradually leading him on, and then like he kept asking for my Snapchat, so I wanted to give him mine, not hers, but I didn't give him mine, I gave her hers, and he started Snapchatting her, and then he kept Snapchatting her for a long time, and then like to this day, she still bothers me about it.
My worst Tinder stories, my worst is probably just sitting on it for like hours, like not getting anyone that seemed cool, you know? But I have a great one. Do you want to hear that?
Yes.
Cool.
We'd love to hear a great one. There's hope on online dating.
So, I met my current girlfriend on Tinder, and we've been dating for about 1.5 years now. And I love her, she's great. And this is like the happiest I've ever been in a relationship. So keep at it, you know, keep swiping. You never know.